Maseches Nazir Daf Nun Vov. The Gemara discusses the shaila if the yomim of tzoras is oiling for Yemei Nizroi or not, and the Gemara learns out from the fact, from a Kavachaymer, from Nazir Bekever, Shasayro royal taglachas, and it's einay oil minaminyan. Yemei chilutoi she'ein sayro royal the taglachas nezirus like kol shekain that yemei chilutoi shouldn't be oil minaminyan. Eine Mishas Rebaren. In Yevomis, they mentioned the Shil El Taflamates that explains the beer in this Gemara. What does it mean that Yemei Chelutoi she'ein sayur roil taglachas? He explains the beer is, and he proves from this Gemara tremendous yisoid that there's two independent kedushas in the kedushas and Nazir. There's the fact that the Nazir has a kedushas haguf, that his guf is kodesh, that is also biyayin ubetaglachas and tumas meis, and there's an independent kedusha that's chal the sar, and he explains that the kedusha of the sar is totally in the fact that the sar is uimid for the taglachas of a nazir. However, over here, since this sar is not uimid for taglachas of a nazir, it's uimid for taglachas of mitzayro, so therefore it doesn't have the kedusha sar, and therefore we can learn out that the days of mitzayro definitely shouldn't be oilo for the minion of the main naziris. And Rabbi Aaron explains with this yisoid the beer and the Rambam that learns the reason why you say Essay say Essay, even though normally you say Ein Essay say by Nazir, that's a Mitzvah, is because since the Nazir became Mitzvah, loses the Kedusha Sar and loses the Essay of Kodesh Yegad Per Sar Roishai. Ein the Shir the El and Mem Aleph that we brought that Reb Chaim was before a different pshat in the Rambam. That's not the pshat that you're just missing the Kedusha Sar, rather you're missing the entire Kedusha Nazir because of the Tumas Tzaras. I am the Chazanish that's brought in the Sefer Shalma Yosef that argues on this Raya of Malgam over here. He asks that if the Pshat is there's independent Kedusha Sar that you don't have by Mitzvah because the Sar is not in the Taglachas of a Nazir, then if that's the case, how can you learn it out? From Nazir Bekev Kochoch, the beer is that the actual Tumah is what's a stira to the main Nizroi va'ayin sham. Moving further on, the Gemara asks, "Ve'eni eli mechilutoi, yimei sifrei minayin," and the Gemara explains, "Ma yimei chilutoi, toin teglachas, af yimei sifroi, uma yimei chilutoi, ein oin loy minaminyan, af yimei sifroi is ein oin loy minaminyan." Ein the Beskurov and stencils, ein the Shurim from David Zechen Levracha. The Briskov asks, what's the understanding of this Gemara? Why didn't the Gemara mention the fact that Yemei Sifroi has a chi of korban? So the Briskov says, you see from this Gemara that although you bring a korban after Yemei Sifroi, the choivas korban be'ikroi is not a din in Yemei Sifroi, rather it's a choiva mitzad Yemei Chilutoi. And since it's a choiva mitzadi mechelutoi, therefore the Gemara doesn't mention the fact that there's a choiva in Yemei Sifroi that it brings a korban, even though it's brought after Yemei Sifroi. It's not a din mitzadi Yemei Sifroi b'chlal. And the Beskor brought a right to this yisoid from the Gemara increases the test that the Gemara says that the gabe someone that's an oni v'heshir, that you look at the time of the shas havos korbanosov to Dan, if he's only over his Osher and Tzorchim, while you look at the time of Shas, Havos Karbonoisov, the Tziporim, while you look at the time of Sifroi, which is the Mechayev of the Korban, Sakoch, you see that Yemei Sifroi is not the Mechayev of the Korban, and it's told in Mei Chilutoi that it's a time of the Havos Karbonoisov V'ayin Shamoit. Moving further on, the Mishnah says that Kol Tumum and Amei Shanos Megalech Olav Yechayev Lov Mishum Bias Mikdosh V'Chol Tumum Ameis She'ein Anoz Megalech Olav Yinach Chayev Tumas Mikdosh. However, Roi Vatzom is Revius Men Adam. The nose is not megaleach. Yinach chayiv mishum bias mikdosh. In Shalmi says, "Hu adin l'Rabbi achilas kodshim betumi not over on a tumah that nose is not megaleach on." There's a tremendous machlekes rishonim in the beer of this halacha that a tumah that not so chomer for nose the megaleach yinach chayiv mishum bias mikdosh. The Rambam writes that any tumor that the nose is not megaleach, it's not a tumor midin Torah, and therefore you're not chayiv in bishum bias mikdash. However, the Ravid argues and the Ravid learns that the reason why you're not chayiv in bias mikdash is because Allah Moshe Sinai. Ein der Biskarov and Seif in Hilchas Psudim Mikdashim has a riches to explain the Machlokes Rishonim, and he says even though the Rambam says it's not midin Torah, the tumor ein hanozim megalech olav, it doesn't mean that it's a tumor d'Abonon, because it's clear in the Rambam that a nozer gets malchus if you're even on a tumor the ein hanozim megalech olav. So korach the beer in the Rambam is that even though it's also midiraisa, since it's not mefurish b'Torah like the Rambam says in many other places, that or isim deraisa, it's not mefurish b'Torah, has a status like halachim divrei soifrim, and therefore the gabe bias migdosh, you're not chayiv on a tumor that's not mefurish b'Torah. And the Biskov asked, that's a kati tzorchi, and why is it like specifically gabe bias migdosh? It's totally in tumor that's mefurish b'Torah. Why is it different than other halachas in tumor that are not totally specifically in a tumor that's mefurish b'Torah? So the Biskov says that it must be that the Rambam agrees that's halacha l'Moshe Sinai, and the machlokes Rambam and Ravid is, what's the point that we learn after halacha l'Moshe Sinai? According to the Ravid, on the Kudei, learning after halacha l'Moshe Sinai is that the Chiv and Bias Mikdash is specifically on a tumor that a nozim is megaleach on it. However, according to the Rambam, the Nakuda is that on a tumor that's not mefurish b'Torah, you're not chayiv on Bias Mikdash. And the Biskrov says there's a tremendous nafkamina between the Rambam and Ravid. What's the halacha by negeya ba'odom or b'kelim that will negeya b'meis? According to the Ravid, that the Nakuda is that Yechayiv Bias Mikdash only on a tumor that the Nozub Megaleach on it, that's specifically if you negate Meis Atzmoi. However, if you only negate Be'odam Be'kelim negate Be'meis, then you're not Chayiv on Bias Mikdash. However, according to the Rambam, the Nakuda is on a tumor that's not Mefurish B'Torah, like Roivat Vatsom, is that the whole mintumor is a mintumor that's not mefurish b'Torah. On such a tumor, you're not chayav in Beis Mikdash. However, if you negate on someone that was negate b'meis, and the tumor is a tumor that's mefurish b'Torah, so on such a tumor, you are chayav in Beis Mikdash. And the Bishkov continues that be'emes it's mefurish and Tosefta like the Yisoda Dvorim of the Rambam, that the reason why you're not mechuyev in Bias Mikdash is because not mefurish b'Torah. And the Biskrov asks from that the Rambam writes in Perek Zayin the Hilchos Nazirus that the reason why a noz is not megaleach on tumas the ein hanoz megaleach olav is because the pasuk doesn't say v'chiyitmol nefesh ela kiyamos ad sheyitmo mitumas shehein mi'atzmei shalmeis, and therefore specifically when you tomei from the nace itself is the nos megaleach on it. And the Biskrov asked, it's a steer in Rambam, and the Rambam is mashma the nekudis because not mefurish b'Torah. And over here, Perek Zayin Hilchos Nazirus, the Rambam says the whole halacha of nos megaleach is when you tome machmas atzmei shalmeis. And the Biskrov says the answer is that's cholos the halacha of bias migdosh and giluch of a nozer. Giluch of a nozer is totally in the fact that the nozer was tomei ba'atzmei shalmeis. However, the gabi bias migdosh, it's totally in the fact that the tum is mefurish b'Torah, it's not mefurish b'Torah. However, the Biskrov brings a tremendous raya from the Sugi Le'el Daf Nun Gimel that even the gabe giluach of a nozer, the yesod of the Nakuda is because it's not mefurish b'Torah, because the Gemara is machlokes b'Eicha and Reish Lakish. If a nozer is megaleach on magav etzem that doesn't have on it bosakuroi, and the Biskrov says that the machlokes Rabbi Eicha and Reish Lakish is machlokes specifically the gabi giluach of a nozer, because it's clear in the Rambam, the Gabi Tumas Maga of a maze, that there is a tumor even on a etzem that doesn't have Bosa Kuroi. So if that's the case, a Korcha Machlokes Rabbi Eicha and Reish Lakish is specifically the Gabi Giluach of a Nozer, and it's Tzorchim. More brings a raya from a postic that's referring to Magav Atome Meis that has nothing to do with Giluach of a Nozer, and it's Tzorchim. God, what's the Mor's raya? If since the Machloikis is specifically Abei Nozer, what's the more bring a raya? The Gabi Nigi of a Tumor that's not regard specifically to Giluach of a Nozer. So the Bishkov says that the answer is according to the Yisoid Hanal because the Nakuda is totally in the dove it's mefurish b'toyer noses megaleach on it. So therefore, the more it brings a raya from the fact that you see it's clear in the posuk that there is tumos memelo nozu b'megaleach on the tumo that's mefurish b'toyer, and as a raya from the Gemara that nekuda legabe nozu megaleach is also the fact that the tumo is mefurish b'toyer va'ayin shamoit.